It's 2016, and one of the most anticipated hero shooters of our lifetime is about to come out, Overwatch.
But Marvel Rivals is out.
Anyways, Overwatch took the gaming market by storm. It even won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. And while at the time, it lacked several features that are not present in today's Overwatch,
Marvel Rivals it's better.
This is going to be a long video. All right, I'm not going to sugarcoat it because honestly, it's been done multiple times. The hype train for Overwatch has been hammered into everyone. Anytime anyone sees that Overwatch 1 opening cinematic with "This is Winston," or my personal favorite, the Overwatch 2 cinematic where it's Winston and Tracer and May in France or London or something like that. You know what I'm talking about, the PvE one. Oh god. The music every single time when we think that Winston's gonna sacrifice himself to save everyone, Genji comes out of nowhere and uses his ultimate that takes 3 hits to kill people in the current game. Look, while I love Overwatch, I have to make jokes against it. Okay, that's how we cope. But no, let's actually get serious about this. So obviously, to address the elephant in the room and not the Genshin Impact stuff in the Among Us slime or my beautiful Christmas tree that stays here year round, Marvel Rivals came out. And to my surprise, the game was actually fun. It was actually really fun to play with friends. It felt new and refreshing. And while it incorporated things from Overwatch, it kind of has its own little spin on things, such as like the team up abilities where you can use 2 or 3 agents on the team or heroes and put them together, and they unlock some unique abilities for them or unique interactions. And while Marvel Rivals is new and insanely fun, I've already put in like 20 something hours into it, like 26, 24 in like the first opening week alone. And I don't think I got burnt out, but it fell off for me. And it made me think about Overwatch and how Overwatch, no matter how frustrating it can be, and no matter how dry and how lack of content it feels with the same Halloween and winter game modes, same Lunar New Year game modes, and same summer game modes over and over and over again, somehow the game keeps pulling me back. And if you're watching this, it probably pulls you back too, and you probably really do care about this game. Now, obviously, before I continue any further, there is going to be some people in the comments that are going to be like,
"Oh, Overwatch had it coming. They don't listen to their fan base, and Marvel Rivals is better. Why would you ever play Overwatch?"
I understand if you're bitter toward Overwatch and you haven't played the game in a long time and you stop playing it because of all the issues that are going on with the game. I completely understand. But please, for the love of God, do not go down there and just start blaming anyone who still likes Overwatch, because they're two honestly different games. Marvel Rivals and Overwatch are different. I mean, one's first person and one's third person. It's like comparing Fortnite and PUBG. Yeah, they're both battle royales, but they function completely differently. Now that I got that out the way, we can get back on schedule. Did Marvel Rivals kill Overwatch 2? I mean, if you look at the Steam charts, it kind of did, right? But the thing is that not a lot of people play Overwatch on Steam. In fact, I would say it's probably less than 20% of the community plays Overwatch on Steam. Longtime veterans of the game have always had it on Battle.net, and I think it runs better on Battle.net anyways. And I thought about putting it on Steam just to have my hours in game tracked, but the game does that already, so I just kept it on Battle.net. And I know Overwatch has a huge console presence because that's where I came from. I started playing Overwatch with my friend Bobcat on Xbox One. Like, it's crazy. I came from console. In fact, I have more playtime on console than I do currently on PC, despite playing the game like crazy for the last 2 years. And to say Marvel Rivals killed Overwatch, it's funny haha memes, and you know, the memes are cool and all, and at some point during Marvel Rivals I was like, wow, you know, this game is actually really good and polished and it feels nice, until the honeymoon phase wore off for me. And I realized that Marvel Rivals is a lot like Overwatch 1 when it first came out. It's chaotic, all over the place, and balance is whack. If you are still enjoying Marvel Rivals, this is not a diss to anyone. I still find the game enjoyable, but it doesn't pull me in competitively, and it doesn't give me the same feeling of accomplishment or like greatness as Overwatch does. And that is subjective. I don't think there's any like objectiveness you can have when you prefer one or the other. I feel like it comes down to personal preference and if you're biased. But obviously all the attention is on Marvel Rivals right now. I mean, if you look at all of the big content creators who who do play Overwatch, and all the ones that are the juggernauts of the Overwatch streaming scene or the YouTube scene right now, they're playing Overwatch for like probably an hour or 2 a day, if not none, just to cover content and make ends met for their channels, and then they go straight to Marvel Rivals for like 12 hours. I mean, SK, huge Overwatch player, and she's been grinding the living hell out of Marvel Rivals. Bogar, Flats, Aspen, Frogger and Aspen. Like, Aspen wasn't even planning on playing the game like I was either. I was kind of dissing the game because I didn't really like how it seemed, and then I gave it a try and I actually really enjoyed it. And, you know, to an outside person who doesn't really play Overwatch a lot, it might seem like Overwatch is done for. I mean, it certainly looks that way. Marvel Rivals got 10 million players in what, the first 2 days or first 10 days or something like that. It's insane. And honestly, I'm happy. I'm glad that Marvel Rivals is so successful because Overwatch for a long time has needed a competitor. I mean, some have came and go, some have tried, like Concord. Y'all remember Concord? That thing's a lost piece of media now. It's probably worth more now because you can't buy the game anymore than it was when it came out. Overwatch for a long time has not had any conflict with anyone else in terms of hero shooters. I mean, they have tried, but Overwatch is still the king of hero shooters, and Marvel Rivals is there to try to take that crown, but I don't think it's gonna happen. At least not anytime soon or ever, because I feel like Marvel Rivals is going to accumulate its own fan base, and Overwatch is going to have its own fan base as well. And the reason why I'm so happy that the game is doing great is because it starts competition. It brings competition to the field. When someone is making something for so long and people want to try something different, and that thing that they try is good and it makes them feel like the game is like what they're playing is polished and new and refreshing, yeah, it's gonna make the other competitor, the original competitor, a little scared and worried, as it should. I mean, for a long time, people feel like the devs don't listen to players in Overwatch. I mean, Overwatch 2's launch is kind of a failure with a caveat. Like, I split Overwatch 2's launch between PvE and PvP. PvE is complete failure. I'm really upset. You can ask anyone in the Overwatch community, and most people agree that the PvE being canceled was the biggest detriment to the game's longevity. Kind of. I mean, at the end of the day, people are still going to play Overwatch because it has that PvP element that people got into it at the first place. But what was the point of stopping Overwatch 1's development for almost 2 to 3 years to make a sequel that's not even a sequel? It's just Overwatch 1.5, a remaster even. And now we're going back to 6v6, and we'll get on. We'll talk about that later. But I understand people's frustrations with Overwatch. I do. I genuinely do, and I understand why people are hopping on the Overwatch hate train and going over to Marvel Rivals. I get it, and I'm happy for you if Marvel Rivals makes you happy, because at the end of the day, that's what games are supposed to be for. I play Overwatch still, and I prefer Overwatch still because it's the game that got me into almost all of the competitiveness that gaming has to offer. I've always played shooter games casually. Like, Call of Duty has always been a casual thing for me. Halo has always been casual, Battlefield as well. Overwatch is the thing that unfortunately made me a competitive demon. It made me a competitive fiend. I highly enjoy competitive games now, no matter how much they stress me out, because of Overwatch. And that's something that Marvel Rivals just doesn't really give me. And that's why I don't think Overwatch is dead. No matter how badly people want Overwatch to be gone and dead and out of the media and out of the loop, it's never gonna go away. Blizzard is not gonna let one of their last remaining pieces that's holding their company together just disappear, especially after how much money they pumped into it. I don't think people understand how big Overwatch actually is. I mean, it doesn't seem that way when you have games like Call of Duty, or in this case, Marvel Rivals, quote unquote, surpassing it in the meantime. But Overwatch is a juggernaut in the gaming industry. I would say that it's up there with the likes of Halo. Now, I know that might be like controversial, but when was the last time you ever heard anything about Halo? I personally love Halo, and I like Halo Infinite, but I haven't played the game in like 6 months. And have you heard anyone be excited about Halo, despite, or maybe for the exception of like the announcement of them going to Unreal Engine moving forward? But like, I feel like Overwatch is a juggernaut, and Marvel Rivals is probably gonna go up to that level, but I don't think it's ever gonna surpass it. Do I think Overwatch 2 is dead, or Overwatch is dead? No, absolutely not, because we have something coming that a lot of people have been wanting for a long time. Is it gonna completely revive the game? Probably not, but it's going to give people a sense of feeling heard and a sense of I told you so, Blizzard. And I think that's what's gonna come out of this mostly. I don't know if that's really unfortunate or not, but I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like pointing fingers and laughing that we're getting 6v6 back as a aha, we knew this wasn't what we wanted it to begin with, right? And that's completely understandable. The frustrations are valid, but I'm excited. By the time this video comes out, 6v6 will be coming out in roughly 12 to 15 hours from now, and I am so hyped. I'm so hyped. I know it's nostalgia bait, kind of, sort of, but I played the classic event, so I got my nostalgia all out, and I didn't like the classic event. Overwatch 1 Classic felt like an unpolished and weird and unfulfilling game. But that's because of everything we have now. Back then, that was it. Overwatch was the it game. But now we understand how well the game has evolved from its starting point, and I'm excited to see all these evolutions and upgrades to Overwatch put into a 6v6 format. At the end of the day, I don't think Overwatch 2 is dead. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Yes, there are a lot of problems with the game, and I completely understand. I don't really strongly like Marvel Rivals anymore, but I don't think it's a bad game, right? Like, I think Marvel Rivals is a good game. It's just not for me. Like, I could say I don't like Marvel Rivals, but it's not bad. Like with Valorant, I mean, people think Valorant is a terrible game, and that's understandable. There's a lot of things that can feel frustrating about the game, but objectively, it's doing very good, and its esports scene is amazing, and it's constantly breaking records besides CSGO. I mean, CSGO is always there. But wait, oh my god, my brain just put together something that kind of reminds me of the CSGO versus Valorant comparison. I mean, Valorant is flashy and new and always has these new things coming out. But you want to know what else is massive? Ninja's low. I'm just kidding. CSGO. CSGO constantly fills seats and constantly has some of the biggest, if not the biggest, esports stadiums and tournaments ever, despite Valorant being so popular and being talked about so much more. Is Overwatch at the level of CSGO? Probably not, but I feel like it's going to be that type of situation where you have Overwatch as the CSGO and you have Marvel Rivals as the Valorant. I don't know if that comparison works. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For anyone who is from my Genshin community, I will have an update on why I'm going back to Overwatch stuff. Surprise if you saw this. I completely understand if you don't want to stick here anymore. I get it. But I hope you guys have a good one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.